helped us in understanding better our world and our place in it, discover deeper meanings of life, and nurture the younger generations. Luckily, we still have storytelling tribal traditions and their poetry is intact. With the aim to preserve and propagate them, Sahitya Academy has been striving ceaselessly to strengthen the tribal traditions across India over past 6 decades. We have established our oral and tribal literature centers in Northeast and also in Delhi. I encourage all the tribal poets and artists to be in touch with our centers and benefit. Any and all tribal outpourings, be they stories or poems or dance and songs, and pure and pristine forms of expression. Primal they may be, but simple and pure they are. All tribal stories and poetry reveal the now lost relationship between man and nature, the ability of later to evoke awe and imagination in the minds of Homo sapiens. Oral traditions across the world are ancient and rich. They contain within themselves vast history of mankind, records of epochs and seminal events, and incredible amount of literature waiting to be tapped. All tribal poetry is conveyor of life-enhancing wisdom, the outpourings that have the power to kindle in us the ability to think and learn creatively, the joys of sharing of experiences and spiritual insights. These are some of the reasons the Academy is supporting tribal literature in all its forms. As part of this seminar, there will be a tribal poets meet, and every year we try to cover as many tribal languages and traditions as possible. Friends, I take this opportunity in welcoming the chief guest of this morning, Professor Minal Miriji, who is an eminent Indian philosopher and educationist. And Professor Miri started his career as a lecturer in philosophy at St. Stephen's College, Delhi, then moved to Shillong to set up the Department of Philosophy in the newly established Northeast Hill University and retired as the Vice Chancellor of the same university in 2005. He served as Director of the Indian Institute of Advanced Study at Shimla and the Chairman of the Indian Council of Philosophical Research twice, and he also served as the Chairman of the Center for Studies of Developing Societies and was the Chancellor of Rajiv Gandhi University, Itanagar. And he is the author of several books and numerous papers in professional journals. And he also published widely in professional multidisciplinary journals. And he has been visiting professor in several universities in India and abroad. And he was awarded the Padma Bhushan for his contribution in the field of education and literature. And he has been the member of Rajya Sabha. Welcome to Professor Minal Miriji. I also gladly welcome Professor Temsil Auji, eminent English poet, fiction writer, and is widely respected as one of the major literary voices in English to emerge from the Northeast India to be with us as guest of honor. And she has more than 10 published books to her credit in different genres like poetry collections, short story collections, criticism, and oral literature. And she worked on the oral tradition of our Nagas for about 12 years and collected the myths, folk tales, folklore, rituals, law, customs, belief systems of them, which later published in a book form. Her works have been translated into several Indian as well as foreign languages, and she also an entry in the Greenwood Encyclopedia of World Folklore and Folk Life on Folklore of Nagaland. Many of her writings are prescribed texts of Nagaland University, besides many other universities, colleges of India. She was the Fulbright Fellow of University of Minnesota, recipient of Padma Shri from the President of India, and she is a recipient of Sahitya Academy Award, Nagaland Governance Award for Distinction in Literature, Kusmagraj National Award for Literature, and she is a retired professor of English from Northeastern Hill University, that is Nehu, where she has taught since 1975 and presently the chairperson of Nagaland State Commission for Women, Kohima. Welcome to Professor Temsil Auji. I warmly welcome Professor B.V. Kumarji, who is a distinguished educationist, thinker and social activist, and presently the chairman of Indian Council of Social Science Research, who has kindly agreed to preside over this inaugural session. And Professor Kumarji also served as principal, Saochang Government College, Nagaland, and Science College, Kohima. And his fields of specialization include India's relations with Central Asia, India's relations with other Asiatic neighbors, Northeast India, caste and tribal societies, and has published more than 100 books on other subjects, including edited and co-authored books. And he also published 41 dictionaries of tribal languages of Northeast and others in Hindi. And he is the founding member of the governing body of India Central Asia Foundation, New Delhi, and the Nagaland Peace Center. And he was founder secretary of Nagaland Bhasha Parishad and Thinkers Forum Nagaland, and founder president of Nagaland Principals Forum, besides associated with various educational, social bodies and NGOs. And he was the founder editor of 2 quarterly academic journals, Dialogue in English and Chintan Srijan in Hindi, and the chief editor of the Quest Journal of the Vivekananda Kendra Institute of Culture, Guwahati, and is the recipient of Ganga Sharan Singh Puraskar. Welcome to Professor B.B. Kumarji. I sincerely welcome Professor T.V. Katamaniji, eminent Kannada writer and scholar, and presently serving as Vice Chancellor, Indira Gandhi National Tribal University, Amarkantak, Madhya Pradesh, and who has kindly agreed to deliver the keynote address. And he has 15 published books to his credit in different genres like folk songs, biographies, poetry collections, and edited books. Besides, several translated works from different Indian languages to Kannada and Hindi. And many of his research articles as well as translated works appeared in literary referred journals and anthologies. And he also wrote a few books in Hindi on Swachh Bharat, Ek Bharat, Shrestha Bharat, and Make in India. And he is a member of the National Education Policy of Ministry of HRD, Standing Committee for Tribal Welfare, Ministry of Tribal Welfare, National Monitoring Committee for Education of SC, ST and PWDs, Government of India, etc. And he served as chairman as well as a member of Board of Studies of different universities of India, and also honorary editor of Sankalya, a literary magazine in Hindi, and Valmiki Bandhu, Kannada Monthly, and is the recipient of Karnataka Rajyotsava Award, Shiksha Vibhushan Award, Alvas Nudisiri Award for the development of tribal culture, Creative Translation Award by Karnataka Sahitya Academy, and Mahatma Jyotiba Phule Sahitya Ratna Samman, etc. Welcome to Professor Katimaniji. I also gladly welcome our chairman of Sahitya Academy, Professor Chandrasekhar Kambarji, and the chairpersons of various sessions of this 2-day seminar come Poets Meet, and the scholars who will present papers in the coming sessions, and the poet participants, and of course every one of you. Thank you all.
धन्यवाद डॉक्टर राव जी और मित्रों, मैं अब उद्घाटन भाषण के लिए आमंत्रित कर रहा हूं प्रोफेसर मृणाल मेरी जी को।
I'm sorry I'm a little bit slow. That's, well, partly because I'm not so well, I'm running a fever, but I'm getting on in age, so the two together explain the slowness. And if I wobble in the middle of whatever I have to say, then I have these two very, very sound reasons as excuse. for wobbling. So that's one. And secondly, with Professor B.V. Kumar, we've been friends for how long? 40 years? Maybe even more than 40 years. We've known each other. We have worked with each other. And so it's, I haven't met him for a very long time, so this gives me an opportunity to be with him, to sit together on the stage with Professor B.V. Kumar. I am happy. I'm thankful to Sahitya Academy that it has given me this opportunity. Then, Temsulao. I'm saying Temsulao. I'm not. Professor is not part of our name, just as Professor is not part of my name. But Temsulao, I've known again for a very, very long time. We've been friends. We have been in touch with each other for quite some time, but of late, past 3-4 years, we haven't been in touch. So again, it's so wonderful that I'm sitting with her on the dais here on this occasion. Thank you, Sahitya Academy. And Professor Kattimani. Professor Kattimani, again, is an old friend, and he's the Vice Chancellor of a university with which I've been associated for quite some time, in fact, from its very inception. From even before its inception, when it was being conceived. So I'm very happy that I have this opportunity to renew my acquaintance with Professor Kattimani. I have some regrets. One of them is that I'm not speaking in Hindi. I understand Hindi, I even read Hindi, but speaking in Hindi to an audience as august as this will be an insult to the audience, so I won't speak in Hindi. I'm speaking in English not because this is my language, it is not my language, and nor because I'm better at speaking English than at speaking some other language, but because inevitably whatever other languages or language I can speak in, I'd be much better understood if I spoke in English than in any other language. And my own language, missing. I have one friend, one missing friend here. Unfortunately, I'm not able to speak in it. I can speak a little. I have never really been inducted into that language because of circumstances in which I was born and I was brought up and reared and so on. But then that doesn't mean that my spirit is not with that language and with that community. And I'm so happy to meet Deepak here, who's representing the missing language and literature here. So, let me, you see, I'm not a literary person, although I have translated an Assamese novel into English, which I don't know for what reason has been published by Sahitya Academy itself. But this novel, I don't think the translation matches the quality of the original. The original was absolutely fantastic. So I'm not a literary person. I have thought, I have some reflections on language, some reflections on oral traditions and so on, but I read poetry, but not very much. I'm not a poet myself. I don't write fiction. So then I don't think whatever I have to say will throw much light on poetry or fictional writing or narratives of different kinds in tribal languages and literature. I shall speak generally about language and perhaps peripherally about literature. But first of all, a few words about language and needs. Professor Uday Kumar is sitting here, so I speak with some hesitation and fear, because he is the language expert here. But anyway, so let me first say something about worldview. We talk about worldview, quite without much hesitation. The our worldview, the Kasi worldview, what other worldviews are there? All the Assamese worldview and so on. Now, what is this worldview? And of course, we talk about tribal worldviews. Now, at least one thing that it means is that to have a worldview is to be part of a world. Now, what is it to be part of a world? To be part of a world is to be part of things around us, organized in terms of meanings that we, our culture, our tradition give to them. Now think of this event, if you like, as part of our world. And how is it part of our world? It is a word. It's a word as opposed to something which is not a word, which is a chaos, which we cannot make sense of, which is not organized in any particular way at all. Now, this gathering here, I've already used the word gathering. Gathering means, if we didn't have the word gathering, and if we didn't know what it means, what would this thing before in front of me be? We didn't, gathering of humans. You see, we have used the word gathering, we have used the word humans, gathering of humans. Those are part of our language. Those are, they give meanings to what we see around us. So when we say it is a gathering of humans, then what we see before us has some basic meaning. This is then that becomes part of our world now. Now, we can further specify this word. How can we further? It is not just a gathering of gathering of humans. That's the basic organization of the word immediately before me in terms of the meaning of the words gathering and humans. Now, further meaning can be, it's part of a conference. See how the world has become denser and deeper. It is not just a gathering of humans, it is part of a conference. See how language, our concepts, they gift what we see around us with meanings. So it is a conference, and this is the inaugural session of the conference that further specifies our work. And it has delegates that further specifies our work. And it is a conference about tribal and oral literature. And so further and more specific organization of the same word as the web of meanings becomes wider and denser. the world becomes wider and denser. Meanings encompass things that are beyond the range of immediate perception. They encompass the past, the future, and entities which cannot be objects of sensory perception. For instance, take Sahitya Academy. Sahitya Academy is not this building. If somebody comes, where is Sahitya Academy? You say, what is Sahitya Academy? You say, this building. This building is not Sahitya Academy. Nor is Rabindra Bhavan Sahitya Academy. Nor the human beings who run Sahitya Academy. They are not. They don't constitute Sahitya Academy. Sahitya Academy is a different kind of thing altogether. It's not something that we can see, touch, feel, and so on. It's a different kind of thing. So, that also that is also something that is a gift of concepts, and concepts which are embodied in language. The concept is Sahitya. So it is meanings which constitute the world we're living. So that's very important. And then, but language is the home of meanings, isn't it? Language is the home of meanings. And we can even say that our locations of meaning, that is, we talked about this part of the world, that this is the location of meaning. Our locations of meaning are really extensions of the web of language. I've talked about worldview. So, tribal worldview, if language is the home of meanings, and worldview is something that is constructed out of meanings, then worldview is therefore something which is constructed out of language, and tribal worldview is constructed in terms of a particular tribal language, whose worldview it is. So that's very important. Now, I'm talking about locations of meaning. Now, it is not just the words. Words are, of course, primary constituents of language, but also all kinds of other things. I mean, think of the language of greetings. You say, namaste. You see how many different ways of saying namaste there are. You can say namaste. You can say namaste. And so, if you say namaste this way, it conveys one meaning. If you say namaste this way, it conveys another meaning. You can say namaste and turn around. It conveys a different meaning altogether. So what I would like to call gestures, expressions, and activities. Gestures, expressions, activities are very important. Activities are particularly important. They constitute the form of life of that culture, of that language. Take the language of greetings again, and activities around it. It is not just saying, see how many things have gone on while greeting us. Professor Srinivas Rao, I'm sorry, I left you out, but Professor Srinivas Rao, I wanted to say a word about him. Professor Srinivas Rao, in his quiet way, of course, his achievements are very creditable, but in his quiet, efficient way, the way he has run Sahitya Academy is absolutely tremendous. Now, see kinds of things that have happened while greetings. A speech was made, this was put around my neck, this also was part of it, and people clapped, and all these things happened. These are activities which surround, if we like, the form of life of greetings. And so, greeting is not just the word namaste or namaskar or kuble. It is not just that. Greetings consist of, a whole variety or web of activities constitute greetings. Now, so all these are very, very important. Now, as I have already said, a tribal language constitutes the tribal word. And tribal word is a tribal culture. And tribal language, I would like to say, somebody said, Professor Srinivas Rao, in his opening remarks said that there are perhaps more tribal languages in this country, in this particular specific territorial entity called India, than anywhere else in a similar territorial boundary. So there are tribal languages. Take the Northeast. It has close to 200 tribal languages. Many of them are on the UNESCO list of extinct or about to be extinct languages. Now, which is a sad story. But anyway, so now each of these languages, and of course linguists have studied these languages from various different points of view, from scientific, from historical, from philological, all kinds of points of view. But each language, I would like to say, in spite of great similarities they have, in spite of similar origins they might have, each language has developed a sort of autonomy which must be recognized. Tribal languages, take missing language. Missing language has, cohabited with the Assamese language for absolutely, maybe for thousands, millions of years. And yet, as Assamese, of course, is a bigger language, it is a bigger culture, it has more connections. There are more connectivities of the Assamese language with languages, different languages of the country, and it has, in a way, it has its roots in the Sanskritic languages of the country. And therefore, that explains why the Assamese language is much, in a sense, it encompasses a much larger word than the missing language. But nonetheless, the missing language has not just survived, and it has flourished. It has learned from the Assamese language, just as Assamese language has learned from missing language, and they have enriched one another. And missing language now can be proud of a very, very flourishing literature, fictional, poetic literature. So what important thing about the missing language, if you like, is that it is not, sometimes people talk about it being somehow part of the Assamese language. It is not part of the Assamese language. It is not a dialect of the Assamese language. It is independent of the Assamese language. That doesn't mean that it cannot interact with the Assamese language. It has interacted for, as I said, thousands of years. It is autonomous. That it has its own life. It has its own springs of creativity, of action, and so on. So that's very important. That every tribe, and in a sense, every missing language is complete in itself. What do I mean by complete? By complete, I mean that it is something To be complete is not that there are things which cannot be said in it. Of course, there are all kinds of things that cannot be said in the missing language. You cannot do modern physics in missing language. It doesn't have vocabulary for all kinds of things that we say in different languages. But whatever can be said, that's very important. Whatever can be said in it can be said with absolute clarity. That's important. And the things which can be said in the missing language with clarity cannot be said in any other language with that kind of clarity. And that explains why translation is frequently not possible. I was reading Professor Uday Kumar's translation of Tagore, fantastic. But Professor Uday Kumar would say that his translation, of course, approaches the original, but it cannot be the same as the original. The original has a different spirit altogether, and that cannot be captured in a translation. Similarly, in the missing language. Missing language, you cannot, what it can say with utter clarity and completeness. That's what I mean by completeness. And so there are all kinds of things that cannot be said. There are all kinds of things which cannot be said in the English language. There are all kinds of things which cannot be said in the Assamese or Bengali language, which can be said in the missing language. This proves the untranslatability of the missing language, right? So that's very important. Now, so as it is with language, so it is with culture. Autonomous cultures, cultural diversity. Now, it is important, so I will not elaborate on this, but I'll just mention that we are, you see, it's frequently it is said that, well, not so frequently perhaps nowadays, but in the late 19th century, early 20th century, middle 20th century, and then tribes used to be identified as savages, as irrational, or the kind of most charitable description of tribes was that they are infants compared to us. We are evolved, and tribes have not quite evolved as yet. They have to, go through this process of evolution to become like us. Us meaning not me, us meaning the whites. So you see, so there is a sense of rationality. You have heard about enlightenment, Kant, and so on. That rationality is something which is a special possession of European modernity. That it is universal. That this rationality has to encompass the entire humanity. And humanity, parts of humanity which do not accept this rationality are down there. So they have to evolve until they come to accept this European idea of rationality and so on. Now, a rationality that foregrounds particularities of language and therefore of culture, and no detached rationality unaffected by place and time. That is the kind of rationality I would plead for. Truth, value, and beauty are not one, but many. There is no single norm or idea for judging, condemning, or praising. The good is scattered throughout the earth, not in one mode, but 1,000 forms. That's my view of rationality. The magnitude of cultural diversity of what we call tribes almost defies imagination. Perhaps there is no comparable geographical area in the world which is home to cultural diversity of this magnitude. The linguistic diversity of the country is an inalienable part of the cultural diversity. Difficult as it is to individuate languages, is there a Bengali language, or is there a cluster of fairly distinct languages individuated as a single language for a variety of reasons. Think of Bengali and different ways of saying. Perhaps there is uniformity in the written Bengali, but you take the Bengali from Sylhet, from Silchar, and the Bengali spoken in Kolkata. Kolkata, Bengali will not understand the Sylheti Bengali. So these are almost like different languages. So difficult. It's very difficult to individuate a particular language, just as the Bengali language is a difficult individual. Or take Hindi. Hindi is spoken in different parts of UP and Bihar and Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan. Think of the differences. And Hindi is spoken in one part of this North Indian, great big North Indian territory, may not be intelligible to the Hindi. So, individuating a language is a difficult kind of proposition. But nonetheless, we do individuate, and we do individuate with a fair amount of justification and clarity. So, on a fairly stringent count, close to 200, as I said, tribal languages are spoken in the Northeast itself. Many of these languages, as I say, are on the UNESCO list of endangered languages. Now, a culture can be thought of as a specific way of being human, which its own norms of good and bad, right and wrong, beautiful and ugly, its own answers to questions about human well-being and so on. And as we said earlier, the good, the right, the beautiful are scattered all over the world, not in one mode, but in thousands of forms. But to be diverse is not to be self-contained. That's also very important. Take the Northeastern tribes. They have asked themselves questions from within and allowed access to themselves from without. For centuries, they have conversed with each other. I've taken the example of Hissing. Learned from each other and seen changes in their languages and cultures. Different cultures, different ways of being human have talked to each other, sometimes in peace, sometimes at war. And we meet here today in peace to listen to each other and understand one another and perchance to develop a common sympathy and a common purpose. That's the purpose of this gathering of humans. I have talked about culture and language as though they define a little bit about music. I'm a little bit partial about music, so I shall end by saying a little bit about music. I have talked about culture and language as though they define the boundaries of our meaningful work. In a way, of course, they do. That's been my argument so far. But all cultures have wondered about what might lie beyond the limits of culture and language. All cultures have wondered. The great Indian cultures, the Western cultures, every culture has wondered what might lie beyond the boundaries of language and culture. And the paradox is that such wonderings are expressed primarily in language itself, but inevitably in language that violates the prescriptions of grammar, syntax, and semantics, or at least takes liberties with them. Folk songs, folk narratives, poetry, intriguing and moving. Folk songs, particularly. Folk music is the mother of all music. There is no escape from it. It is the mother of all music. You think of the great Indian classical traditional music, you take the great Western classical traditional music, they are all born in folk traditions. Now, so they have their roots in folk music. Music as a location of meaning is another story altogether. I don't have the time to talk about this story. This is a festival of letters, perhaps no place for music. It's a pity. but one example of folk music that penetrates the barriers of meaning set by language. I think of the music of some of the Naga tribes. There's Professor Temsalao sitting here. And the music consists of human voices, sometimes strange human voices, not words, voices, not words, sounds made by marked drums and other percussion instruments, and maybe occasionally wind instruments, producing reverberating music that gives us a glimpse of a reality beyond words. Thank you very much. And it is a great pleasure to inaugurate this conference.
धन्यवाद प्रोफेसर मीरी जी। और मित्रों, अब मैं आमंत्रित कर रहा हूं हमारे विशिष्ट अतिथि प्रोफेसर तेमसुलाओ को उनके संभाषण के लिए।
I feel very privileged and at the same time very stressed to be standing here before you, because I was under the impression that I was let off when I didn't see my name on the card. But since I'm with you all, especially I'm overjoyed to see and meet Professor Miri, our chief guest, who has been a lifelong friend and guide and mentor, and Professor Bibi Kumar. He also has links to Nagaland and through that to all us Nagas, and our Honorable Vice Chancellor from Madhya Pradesh, and friends, poets and writers. I greet you all and wish you the very best for the coming year, for the already come year, I should say that. Whatever few ideas I was formulating in my mind, much has been covered already by Professor Miri, but I just want to add 2 or 3 points to what I believe is the real vocation of us tribal poets. When we write tribal poetry, what are we doing? Are we competing with the well-established poets in other major languages or even foreign languages? Absolutely not. We are writing our folk poetry and sometimes retrieving them from the old singers and storytellers. We are trying to put together into a recognizable shape and identity. Because tribals, we are in danger of being glossed over and made uniform with all the other people of the country. I'm not saying it is a bad thing, but when we lose our own identity through not knowing about our origin, about our history, migration, and above all, forgetting to speak our own languages, that would be the saddest day of us tribals all over the country. And that is why we write. And we write about what? Not romance, not history, not religion. We write about our common lives in the villages and in the jungles. And there is therein lies the validity of our exercise. We have to cope with the present reality. If we stick to our languages only, how many people will read your writings? If I wrote in Ao, my mother tongue, there would be very few readers. Even 500 copies will not be sold because Nagas are yet to inculcate the habit of serious reading. Therefore, our only way to communicate, tell others who we are, what we are, is through translation. I agree that there can never be a one-to-one equivalent from one language to the other. And as Professor Miri mentioned, there are words in our languages which are untranslatable into English to begin with. For example, in my village, when we want to deny that something is untrue, totally baseless, we say, yang ayang. That's it. It should stop all argument. But how do you translate this one, word of only vowels into English? So the uniqueness of each language gives the readers and writers some kind of energy. The gifted ones write, the others continue with the struggle of their lives within that given language. But I always tell that there is a danger in translation, because if the translation is not a faithful one, there is the danger of displacing the meaning in the original language. There is also the temptation of embellishing, exaggeration, and romanticizing the past. That is the most dangerous thing. Why should we romanticize the past? Why should we deny that we were brutes, we were headhunters? What will gain us? Do you think that then the people will look at tribals as all gentlemen and, just singers and dancers and forget the savagery that they had to cope with? They didn't become savages because they wanted to become savages, because their milieu was such that unless he kind of assumed the aggressor's role, survival was at stake. Anyway, we will not go into them. And another thing I believe is that the oral tradition is not always about the past. It should be about the present also. The evolution of people in the villages, in the towns. The dynamics are always at work. And that process, understanding that process, will help us shape our future in a country as vast as in India. I'll stop with one small example of what the meaning of words can do in the culture of a people. I come from a village where, I'm sure as it does in other villages also, disputes are always settled in a village assembly, the village council. And there would obviously be two opposing parties. And if an agreement is not reached on the first day or even on the second day, the person who is the spokesman of party number one will ask for some time and go and consult the elders. And then he will come with his mandate, and when the verdict is likely to go against him, he will stand up and say that, look, I'm not the competent authority, my elders are there, so I will convey your ideas to him, but I'm hanging a word here. How do you hang a word? It means that the word is alive, the dispute is alive. He will just say, I'm hanging a word, and he will go and report to his elders' council, say that as advised by you, I hung a word there, and I'm telling you this now. Thank you.
धन्यवाद प्रोफेसर तेमसुला जी। और मित्रों, अब मैं आमंत्रित कर रहा हूँ बीज भाषण के लिए प्रोफेसर के.वी. कट्टीमनी जी को। Nardehar, this is traditional greetings of my land, Amarkantak. Professor Mrinal Miri, a great philosopher and a great son of Srimati Indra Miri, who has done wonderful work of educating tribals in Assam. Professor V.B. Kumar, who is chairing the session and heading ICSSR, and my well-wisher mentor, Professor Tamsulavo, a great writer and linguist, Professor Chandrasekhar Kambar, newly elected President of Sahitya Academy, a renowned writer of Kannada, a poet, translator, dramatist, novelist. Dr. Rao, writers, friends, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, I am very much honored by the invitation of the Sahitya Academy to talk about oral and tribal literature. We all know there are two most important components. One is oral, another is written literature. Now, I will switch over to Hindi. वाचिक और लिखित साहित्य पर, आदिवासी जनजातीय साहित्य पर, as Professor Ao, Professor Mrinal Miri elaborated, we have a rich oral tradition. In fact, we have tradition because we have many more languages. Every tribe has their own language. Sub-tribe has their own language. In Central India, Gonds have Gondi, Panikas have Paniki, Baigas have Baigani, plus Baigas, after 10 villages, they have some other language. Gonds of Bihar, they have other language. Gonds of Amarkantak, they have their own language. Gonds of
southern Mandala part of Madhya Pradesh, they have other language. Bhilis, they have many more languages. And the two scholars, earlier scholars, told us language comes with its cultural heritage. भाषा की अपनी संस्कृति होती है. वास्तव में संस्कृति के साथ भाषा होती है. जब भाषा खत्म होती है, संस्कृति खत्म होती है. जब संस्कृति खत्म होने लगती है, भाषा अपने आप खत्म होती है. Yesterday I was talking to a Sindhi scholar. I asked a question. Your children are able to talk right in Sindhi? He said, unfortunately, no. My children can only talk, but they are unable to read and write. Then a language is only live in books only. Professor Miri told that many tribal languages are under threat, endangered. Sir, you know, UGC 3 years back has called papers, presentation regarding to create endangered languages centers. We have applied. Maybe 5 universities of our country applied, and we all got it. We got around 9 crores. When we started working in India, only tribal languages are under threat. I asked to the scholars, why? Why not Hindi is under threat? Why not English is not under threat? Why not my mother tongue Kannada is not under threat? Why Telugu is not under threat? Why Koraga language is under threat? Why Naga language is under threat? Why Manipuri is under threat? The simple thing is, these languages, we have only oral tradition. We are very strong in oral traditions. जब लोग बात करना, गाना, नृत्य करना, कहानी बताना छोड़ देते हैं, तो ये भाषाएं अपने आप खत्म होती हैं. तो I requested the scholars, हम किसी पर आरोप नहीं कर सकते कि हमारी भाषा को उन्होंने खत्म कर दिया. यदि आरोपी है तो मैं खुद हूं. मैंने अपनी भाषा को खत्म कर दी. हाउ? मेरे फूड हैबिट्स चेंज हो गए. फूड हैबिट्स के प्रिपरेशन के साथ, इंग्रेडिएंट्स के साथ, खाने के साथ, साफ करने के साथ, खाने के स्टाइल के साथ भाषा जीवित. वो खत्म हो गई. छत्तीसगढ़ में एक्चुअली कल्चरली माई यूनिवर्सिटी हमारा कंट्रीब्यूशन छत्तीसगढ़. सर आप जानते हैं छत्तीसगढ़ में देर आर 154 वेराइटीज ऑफ राइस. 154 varieties of rice. I might have enjoyed around 80 variety of rice till now. The original seeds still alive, used by only tribals. In Manipur, there is one black rice. You know, madam. Black rice which has a very rich ingredients, components. But all these varieties are under threat. वाचिक परंपरा हमारी संस्कृति के साथ, हमारे जीवन विधान के साथ, हमारे रहने के साथ, बैठने के साथ, उठने के साथ व्यवहार करने के साथ वाचिक परंपरा हमेशा जीवित होती है। 4 years back when sir I had joined Amarkantak, सुबह शाम रात मृदंग की आवाज सुनाई पड़ती थी। लोग जब चाहे गाते, उठते, नृत्य करते, हम सुना करते थे। After 4 years, now it is occasional. 4 बरस बाद ये कभी कभार होता है। लोगों को मालूम हो गया, या they have seen the university, they have seen the vehicles, they have seen the buildings, they have seen money. Their earnings were very thin earlier. Now they are getting government salary, maybe 320 rupees daily. It's a big money. It's a big money. They left preparing their own mahua at their home. Now they are dependent upon the government sharana. The culture of preparing mahua, it's going. It's vanishing. There are 2-3 artists from our side. They are sitting in another place, another venue. There is one Arjun Singh Dhurve, a great artist who is living maybe 84 kilometers away from our university, and I am a regular visitor to his village and place. Once I sat with him around 2 days. Continuously 2 days he was singing. Continuously 2 days he was singing. Without any paper. Without any paper. Without any help. Without any prompting. This is how tribes are living with our tradition. With our Vachik Parampara. We have our cultural treasure, सांस्कृतिक विरासत आदिवासियों की अपनी है। यदि दोनों विद्वानों ने कहा, विदुषी ने कहा, सब लोग कहते हैं कि उनकी विरासत, आदिवासियों की विरासत खत्म हो रही है। इसीलिए खत्म हो रही है, हम सबके जीवन विधान खत्म हो रहे हैं, हम सबके प्रायोरिटीज बदल रही हैं, हम सबके प्रायोरिटीज बदल। आई हैव सीन and if you come in northeastern states, they will talk in their own mother tongue, tribal language, with their family. Once they are out from house, they will switch on to English or their own state language. So invariably, a tribe in India will able to speak at least in 2 languages. At least in 2 languages. One in Baigani, वो अपने घर में अपने लोगों से बात करेगा, और हिंदी में भी उनको बात करेगा. If we ask them, ask a linguist, what is the threat to a Central Indian tribal languages? They will say, Hindi is a great threat. But इस बैगा आदमी को, बैगा बच्चों को हमें मुख्य धारा में उनको सिखाने, टू ब्रिंग देम स्कूल, किस भाषा में उनको सिखानी है? बैगानी में सिखानी है. Who are there to teach them in Baiga language? Then we have to switch over to Hindi. Okay? Hindi is a foreign language to him. Hindi is a foreign language to a Baiga tribe. So what to do? The house, we have to think over this. केवल वो बैगा भाषा सीखेगा, बैगा में काम करेगा, बैगा में लिखेगा, तो उनको नौकरी कौन देंगे? नौकरी कौन देंगे? केवल there is a very romantic saying in Indian literature. Tribes love to dance, sing, and drink. Now I realized they love to drink because other than drinks they don't have anything. पीने के अलावा उनके पास कुछ नहीं, गाने के अलावा उनके पास कुछ नहीं. एंड वाचिक परंपरा को एंडेंजर्ड लैंग्वेजेस सेंटर, हमारा एक उद्देश्य है कि वाचिक परंपरा को आप लिपिबद्ध करिए, इसको बचाइए, रिकॉर्ड इट. क्योंकि कुछ अंदरूनी क्षेत्र में, जंगल में कुछ ऐसे लोग हैं, देयर इज वन ट्राइब जिनकी हार्डली 318 पीपल are able to speak their mother tongue in छत्तीसगढ़ जंगल. तो उसको बचाना हमको जरूरी है. We have classified the tribal वाचिक परंपरा, oral tradition. ये लोग किस विषय को लेकर बात करते हैं? वो दिल्ली के बारे में बात नहीं करेंगे, राष्ट्रपति भवन के बारे में बात नहीं करेंगे, साहित्य अकादमी के बारे में बात नहीं करेंगे. वो बात करेंगे पेड़ के बारे में, वो बात करेंगे पत्तों के बारे में, वो बात करेंगे फूलों के बारे में, वो बात करेंगे फलियों के बारे में, वो बात करेंगे पक्षियों के बारे में, वो बात करेंगे मछली के बारे में, मगरमच्छ के बारे में. कभी भी वो बात नहीं करते आदिवासी वाचिक परंपरा कि लोग कैसे जंगल को नाश कर रहे थे, बर्बाद कर रहे थे. Our Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh came to our university for a discussion. वो मुझसे पूछ रहे थे, वीसी साहब, आदिवासियों को जंगल काटने से कैसे रोकना चाहिए? मैंने कहा सर, इट्स वेरी सिंपल. यदि आप बता देंगे कि आप जंगल मत काटो, कल से जंगल काटना बंद होगा आदिवासियों से. लेकिन ये एमएनसी लोगों को आपने बुलाया, इन लोगों को ऐसे बंद करेंगे? एक आदिवासी परंपरा हफ्ते में एक पेड़ को काटता है, मे बी 100 ट्रीज इन ईयर. लेकिन एक एमएनसी जो यहां माइनिंग करने आएगी, वो 1000 एकड़ को एक दिन में खत्म कर देगी. फिर उन्होंने कहा कि आपका कहना सही है. फिर बोले कि, फिर मैंने कहा लेकिन मेरा आगे कहना है कि एक पेड़ काटते हैं 2-3 चीजों के लिए. एक अपनी चूल्हा जलाने के लिए, टू फायर दिस थिंग. तो उसके लिए वी कैन मेक अल्टरनेटिव अरेंजमेंट. सोसाइटी शुड मेक अल्टरनेटिव अरेंजमेंट. सोसाइटी कैसे अल्टरनेटिव अरेंजमेंट? एक सोलर वाला और दूसरा गैस का चूल्हा हम लोग. नेक्स्ट, वहां अमरकंटक में, हमारे क्षेत्र में अभी भी कड़क सर्दी है, तो कितने कंबल इन लोगों को हम दे सकते हैं? हु विल गिव रजाई? सो वो क्या करते हैं, एक पेड़ को घर के अंदर लकड़ी को जलाकर रख देते हैं, उसके आसपास सभी सोते हैं. एंड टू अर्न ब्रेड एंड बटर, उसको ले जाएंगे बगल वाले गांव में, नॉट शहर, नॉट टाउन, वहां 20 रुपए में, 30 रुपए में बेचेंगे. चावल लाएंगे, थोड़ा तेल लाएंगे, 50 रुपए का सामान लाएंगे, जिससे अपनी शराब भी बन सकती है. तो जीवन यापन करें. आदिवासियों का, ट्राइब्स का दुनिया भर में एक बहुत बड़ा कैरेक्टर ये है, हम आदिवासी कभी संग्रह नहीं करते. नो कलेक्शन, नो बैंक बैलेंस, नो स्विस बैंक, नो स्विस बैंक अकाउंट्स. डिमोनेटाइजेशन जो हुआ, आदिवासी किसी ने भी बात नहीं की, स्ट्राइक नहीं की, क्योंकि पैसे वालों को प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, आदिवासियों को प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. हालांकि वी हैव सीन ए वंडरफुल barter system even today in मध्य प्रदेश, सेंट्रल इंडिया. तो वाचिक परंपरा को बचाकर रखने के लिए नाउ आई अंडरस्टूड उसका रिकॉर्डिंग करने से फायदा नहीं, उसको लिखने से फायदा नहीं, जो बोल रहे हैं उनको बचा के रखना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। जो आदमी वाचिक परंपरा के साथ है वो वाचिक परंपरा के साथ जीता है। टू सेव दिस oral tradition we have to save the person, not by only recording it. It's not possible. बहिका community में arranged marriages never happen. They will meet, they will decide, or the elders will see they are meeting and they will declare. एक छोटा सा गाना है, पीपर पान दिन भर तोला देखव छिन्न भर पीपर पान रे, सिक्का घर ले डाली घर ले वो लेवी कावर, ऐसे माया लागे बाई रिंग तवा में जावर, बीन लेवी चेना ओढ़ी की कतार, मोर जोड़ी भिड़े है छाती के कतार। इसका सारांश मैंने बना दिया। एक बैगा युवक अपनी जोड़ी बनाने के लिए अपनी प्रेमिका को एक पीपल के पेड़ के नीचे मिलने के लिए बुलाता है, परंतु वो लड़की घर के लोगों के डर से उस युवक के बुलाए गए स्थान पर बहुत संकोच के साथ देर से पहुंचती है। तो युवक कर्मा गाना आजकल हिंदी फिल्मों में कर्मा गाने कुछ आ गए हैं, कर्मा गाकर उससे मजाक करने लगा। जिस प्रकार पीपल का पत्ता सबको अच्छा लगता है उसी प्रकार तुम भी मुझे अच्छी लगती हो, ऐसा लगता है कि दिन भर तुमको ही देखता रहूं। और आगे कहता है कि लोग सिक्का कांवर में दोनों तरफ सामान लेकर चलते हैं। कांवर कई लोग उत्तर भारत वाले तो हम जानते हैं, दक्षिण में ये कम होने लगा है। अभी भी पानी कांवर से ही सेंट्रल इंडिया में लिया जाता है, सामान भी, घास भी, खेत के सामान भी में दोनों तरफ सामान लेकर चलते हैं। वैसे ये हम दोनों एक दिन जन्म लिए हैं, ऐसी जोड़ी हमारी मिली है। युवती कहते कि गोबर के छेना कंडे डाली भर बिनते हैं, वैसे ही बराबर की हमने जोड़ी पसंद की है। ऐसा गागा कर दोनों पीपल के नीचे दिन भर रहकर शाम को अपने घर जाते हैं। जब इन दोनों को दिन भर वहां रहते हुए लोगों को मालूम होता है तो उनकी शादी की जाती है। इट्स सो सिंपल। अभी भी आदिवासी समाज में डोरी सिस्टम नहीं, अभी भी हमको कन्या शुल्क देना पड़ता है। Once there was a meeting of vice chancellors which was called in Rashtrapati Bhavan. The agenda was how to bring tribals into mainstream. जब मेरी बारी आई तो आई आस्क्ड द हाउस, तो मेन स्ट्रीम में आदिवासियों को बुलाना, इसका मतलब आदिवासियों लोग भी वरदक्षिणा देना पड़ेगा। लड़की बहुत ज्यादा पैसा नहीं देती तो लड़की को जला देंगे, क्योंकि ये सब परंपरा आदिवासियों में नहीं है। एंड there is no limitation to earn. There is no limitation to earn in the society, but there is a limited earning in tribal society. What is the limited system? आज मुझे जितना चाहिए उतना मुझे कमाना है। कल देखिए ये ट्राइबल सोसाइटी। तो नाउ मुख्य धारा भारत में किस परंपरा की मुख्य धारा है? सर आप हैं, मुख्य धारा वास्तव में आदिवासियों की मुख्य धारा है। हम जो शहर के लोग हैं, आदिवासियों की मानसिकता को हमको अपनाना है। तो भारत में झगड़े नहीं होंगे, भारत में ट्रैफिक नहीं होगा, भारत में करप्शन नहीं होगा, स्विस बैंक में भारत वाले अकाउंट रखना बंद हो जाएगा। इट्स सो सिंपल। तो भारत की जो आदिम परंपरा है आदिवासियों की, उसको हमने छोड़ दिया। तो दूसरे देशों की जो परंपरा है और मोर, उसको हमने ले लिया। The saying will not say earn lakhs, earn crore, earn million, Arab dollar. No, earn more. How much? More and more. ये भारत की परंपरा नहीं है। ये भारत की परंपरा नहीं है। शहर वाले हम भारत की परंपरा को हमने अर्न मोर परंपरा बना लिया। आदिवासी लोग अभी भी मुझे कितना चाहिए उतनी। हमारे विश्वविद्यालय के पास पहाड़ के ऊपर एक छोटा सा गांव है, सरकोना। इट्स टोटली बैगा विलेज। आई पर्सनली अडॉप्टेड द विलेज। I personally adopted, not as a vice chancellor, Katimani has adopted the village. There are 123 houses. 123 people from the village are appointed in our university. कम से कम एक घर से एक आदमी, 2-3 लोग भी हैं। For what? They are all our horticulturists of our university. हमारे विश्वविद्यालय की हरियाली बनाना उनका काम है। मॉर्निंग 7 o'clock they will come, up to dawn they will be in the university. उनको किसी को बताने की जरूरत नहीं कि you do this that you no. एक बार बता दो सुबह आपको ये काम करना है, शाम होने तक वो काम करते रहे। तो जब भी मैं उस गांव में जाता हूं, बहुत गरीब परिवार के लोग हैं। somebody will invite you, सर आज आप हमारे घर में खाना खाकर जाएंगे। They will prepare कोदो rice, कोदो कुटकी, these are the varieties of rice for tribes. एक बार आप हम कोदो खाएंगे, हमारी डायबिटीज भाग जाती है। When government started distributing free rice to tribes, now they are suffering from diabetes. Our doctors examined some young tribals of Central India. They are suffering from hypertension. Why? It is because of white rice and white sugar. Tribes never used sugar. They use, that is bella, jaggery. Now they left and started using white sugar. Now there are 52 Bhavan गांव है आदिवासियों के, where I am a regular visitor. Whenever I will go, everybody will ask one question. कुलपति साहब, हमारे गांव में टावर नहीं आता मोबाइल का। They are worried about the tower only. I used to ask them, हम बात करेंगे tuber crops के बारे में, because once upon a time tuber crops, जड़ी बूटियां, were the main source of our livelihood. Now we have lost. We have to regain, rejuvenate. Now we have started experimenting in our campus, and we are distributing tuber crops to small landowners, landholding people through our Krishi Vigyana Kendra. This is how Vachik Parampara is vanishing because of our tribe's lifestyle is changing, our food habits are changing, and we are comparing ourselves with big people. मोटर कार में घूमने वालों के साथ हम we are comparing ourselves. This is how वाचिक परंपरा अपने आप खत्म हो रही है. मैं एक लिखित परंपरा की कवित्री का उदाहरण दूंगा. झारखंड की निर्मला पुतुल, आप सभी जानते हैं, उनकी एक कविता है, उसका शीर्षक है ब्याह न देना, डोंट मैरी मी. बाबा, उस गांव में ब्याह न देना मुझे जिस गांव में मुर्गी की आवाज सुनाई नहीं पड़ती. सपने देखिए जवान बच्ची की, मतलब अभी भी इस आदिवासी युवती को मुर्गे और मुर्गा बहुत मुख्य है. और कहते हैं कि मैं पति के घर जा रही हूं तो मेरा जो बकरा का बच्चा है, बछड़ा है, उसको देखना. वो नहीं कहते कि ट्रेजरी में जो सामान है, गहने हैं, जेवरात है, उसको बचाना. वो नहीं, उनके गहने, उनकी जेवरात, उनका देश, उनका देशभक्ति, उनका भारत, वो बकरे का बछड़ा है. और फिर आगे कहते हैं कि हमारे घर का जो पानी नहाने के बाद जो बहता है, बाबा देखते रहना, वो झरने में नहीं मिलाना. अब बताइए कौन देशभक्त है? कौन देशभक्त है कि हम बहुत अच्छे भाषण देते हैं, बहुत अच्छा कविता लिखते हैं, बहुत अच्छा ये करते हैं, हम देशभक्त हैं? क्या वो देशभक्त? थैंक्स टू साहित्य अकेडमी, आपने ऐसे विषय पर सोचा, एंड आई मस्ट बी थैंकफुल टू द अथॉरिटीज. यू हैव गिवन मी एन अपॉर्चुनिटी टू टॉक अबाउट माय ओन पीपल, my own heritage and our own literature. With these few words, I extend my heartfelt thanks to you. Namaskar. Johar. Thank you.
धन्यवाद प्रोफेसर कट्टीमणि जी. और मित्रों, अब मैं आज के अध्यक्षीय वक्तव्य के लिए आमंत्रित कर रहा हूं प्रोफेसर जीवी कुमार साहब.
प्रोफेसर तेमसुआ, प्रोफेसर कट्टीमणि, Raudi, Chairman, Scientific Academy, and friends. I thank Scientific Academy for calling me here and making me a part of this discourse. Tribal society in India is the most misunderstood society. The tragedy is that tribals understand their society the least. It is not the country as a whole which does not understand the tribal society. The tragedy is that tribals don't understand their society. 70 years have passed since independence. We have not done much to save the rich literature of the tribal community of this country. I thank Sahitya Academy, at least some initiative is taken. Even my organization, Indian Council of Social Science Research, I don't find much has been done about the tribal literature, about the tribal culture. My friend was talking just now about the mainstream. The British manufactured many myths, and one myth was court-fringed conflict. Conflict between so-called mainstream and the fringe areas. I find that mainstream is the most mischievous term used by the scholars of this country. There is no mainstream and there is no fringe. If a flower has 100 colors, the beauty lies there. The beauty of the flower lies in the multiple colors. And if our society has richness, variety, that enriches the whole nation. And every tribal community is a part of the whole nation. It enriches the nation. And it ought to be our job, especially the scholarly community, we have to preserve the richness of the tribal oral literature. Preservation of tribal literature is essential. The study of tribal literature is essential because if we really want to understand India, we can't understand India unless we have a macro perception of the societies, their ethos, their thinking, their literature, their traditions, the variety of cultures. But our scholars have become a very lazy people. In our universities, my two vice-chancellor friends are here. A lot of research are being done every year. Thousands of theses is being produced. All are educated people here. If I ask, name half a dozen standard PhD thesis or postdoctoral thesis presented, you can't answer. A lot of bluff is going on the name of research in this country, and the researchers are not giving the real picture of the country. My friend was talking just now about the languages which have the danger to vanish. But he should also know about the manufactured languages. Census, Indian census. According to that, there were 1,600 languages in this country, and hundreds of languages were spoken by 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 people. I have seen some of the languages. As for example, Bijapuri language is spoken somewhere in Arunachal or somewhere in Andaman Nicobar. Gazipuri language spoken somewhere in Northeast. They simply say that these are manufactured languages. Bijapuri can't be spoken elsewhere than Bijapur. Gazipuri or Balyatic cannot be spoken in the Northeast India or in Andaman Nicobar. The point is, the census went, asked people, what is your language? The man is illiterate. He is unable to say which language he speaks. He says, say something from where you have come. He will say, I have come from Balia. And that census man will write Balyatic. He will say, I have come from Gazipur. He will say Gazipuri. He will say, I have come from Bijapur, language Bijapuri. The second stage of analyzing the data was to be done by the census department, which was not done. So these are manufactured languages. and manufacturing variety, having just manufacturing to increase the number of languages, that is not good. At many places I find that due to political reasons languages were manufactured. As for example, in southern Manipur, in Mizoram, languages are there like Mizo, Paite, Mar, Kom, Jou, Kom, these languages. A dozen of languages, practically the same language. Only the clan is different. And due to difference of clan, they say my language is different. And there are cases where people speaking the same language went up to Supreme Court to say that this language is mine. One group says the name is different, other group the name is different. They went to Supreme Court. These things should not have happened in this country. We talk about isolation. Isolation had become the creed of the Indian scholars. What is the reality? In Northeast India, I have studied many languages. I have published, I was responsible to create dictionary of 64 languages. About 20 grammars of different tribal languages. Self-teachers, folklore also. I have myself taught. And I have published books worth 13,000 pages. More than 80 books have been catalogued in American Library of Congress. And I have tried to understand the variety of languages. While studying the variety of languages, I have found that in a particular region, 6 dozen languages are spoken. Analyze their vocabulary. You will find languages are 6 dozen. But vocabulary, the core vocabulary, is not more than 5. Then how the variety came? How the languages became so many? The languages became so many because the people speaking language A, people speaking language B, they came together, settled at one place, they became bilingual, and after becoming bilingual, 2 languages become burden for them. And then there was random delexification. Random delexification at one place and at another place did not take the same root. And there was permutation and combination of lexemes, creating the difference of languages. The main thing was that society's main behavioral pattern was not that of separation, isolation. People started living together. That was the main ethos of the society, living together in a friendly way, not as Britishers have told about the Nagas, that head hunting is the main core of the culture of the Nagas. Living together was the main factor. But who will take the challenges? Who will take these scholarly challenges in a country where scholars have ceased to study? Our scholars are not real scholars. They are not studying properly. They are not trying to understand the society. They are creating myth-making. They are carrying the burden of myths created by the Britishers, colonial myths. So the challenges are that we produce the scholars, then who have love for the languages, who have love for the tribal languages. They should collect the data, they should process the data, and they should go for deep analysis. There should be micro-studies, and based on micro-studies, the macro-perception of society should be developed. So that is the only answer. हमारी भाषाएं बड़ी समृद्ध हैं और समृद्ध भाषाओं का जो साहित्य है जनजातीय साहित्य उसका संकलन होना चाहिए, उसका कलेक्शन होना चाहिए, उस पर अध्ययन होना चाहिए। और ट्राइबल लैंग्वेजेस के साहित्य के अध्ययन के द्वारा हम भारत देश की अच्छी समझ विकसित कर सकते हैं। यदि भारत को समझना है तो जनजातीय भाषाओं की समझ भी विकसित करनी होगी, जनजातीय साहित्य की समझ विकसित करनी होगी। और यदि हम नहीं करते ऐसा तो आने वाली पीढ़ी प्रश्न चिन्ह खड़ा करेगी हमारे स्कॉलरशिप पर। ऐसा होना नहीं चाहिए, बदलाव आना चाहिए। मैं धन्यवाद दूंगा साहित्य अकादमी के चेयरमैन को कि शुरुआत तो आपने कराई है। जनजातीय साहित्य का संकलन का कार्य भी साहित्य अकादमी को शुरू करना चाहिए। और मैं अपनी संस्था इंडियन काउंसिल ऑफ सोशल साइंस रिसर्च के द्वारा चाहूंगा कि जनजातीय समाज की संस्कृति, भाषा, लोक साहित्य पर भी अध्ययन हो। मैं चाहूंगा कि लोक साहित्य जो ओरल लिटरेचर है जनजातीय भाषाओं का, उस पर हमारे यहाँ भी मासिकली काम हो। स्कॉलर कहाँ मिलेंगे ये समस्या है, गाइड कहाँ मिलेंगे ये समस्या है। जब यूनिवर्सिटी का प्रोफेसर समाज को नहीं समझेगा तो गाइड नहीं करेगा। इन समस्याओं को मैं जानता हूँ, लेकिन जानने के बावजूद हमें चैलेंज के रूप में इन चीज़ों को लेना चाहिए और शुरुआत करनी चाहिए। धन्यवाद।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद प्रोफेसर बीवी कुमार साहब। आपने जो एक चुनौती रखी है सभी विद्वानों के सामने, मुझे लगता है कि उसे स्वीकार किया जाना चाहिए। और अकादमी ने भी इस संदर्भ में काफ़ी लंबे समय से काम करना शुरू किया है और कई सारी किताबें इस तरह की हम लोग लेकर के आए हैं। अकादमी ने एक जो टेक्नोलॉजी को भी अपने साथ जोड़ करके जो वाचिक भाषाओं का साहित्य है उनको वाचिक रूप में डिजिटल फॉर्म में जो है वो वेबसाइट्स पर उपलब्ध कराने का भी एक काम शुरू किया है। और जो लिखित रूप में प्रकाशित पुस्तकों के रूप में जो चीज़ें आ रही हैं उनके साथ भी हम वाचिक साहित्य की सीडी जो है उसको ऑडियो या वीडियो रूप में भी किताबों के साथ जोड़ करके दे रहे हैं। तो इस तरह के काम और भी आगे बढ़ेंगे जिस तरह से हमारे विद्वानों का सुझाव मिलेगा। और इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ मैं एक बार पुनः आभार प्रकट करना चाहूँगा हमारे मुख्य अतिथि प्रोफेसर मृणाल मिरी जी का, हमारी विशिष्ट अतिथि प्रोफेसर तेमसुला आओ जी का, हमारे बीज भाषणकर्ता प्रोफेसर टी.वी. कट्टीमणि जी का और हमारे अध्यक्ष प्रोफेसर बीवी कुमार जी का, साथ ही सभागार में उपस्थित सभी विद्वानों का, खासतौर पर हमारे अध्यक्ष डॉक्टर चंद्रशेखर कम्बार जी रुचिपूर्वक इस कार्यक्रम में उपस्थित हुए, उसके लिए उनका प्रति आभार। मित्रों 10 से 15 मिनट का ब्रेक हम लोग चाय के लिए लेते हैं और उसके बाद सत्र के लिए, वैचारिक सत्र के लिए हम लोग उपस्थित होंगे, जिसमें प्रोफेसर डेजमंड खामा फुलांग जी की अध्यक्षता में 3 आलेख पढ़े जाएंगे। आप सभी का पुनः हार्दिक स्वागत है, अभिनंदन।